In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about silver. Now, the first thing I want to do is show you which contract we're looking at. First of all, this is the December contract, so it expires in December. But you can see we've got this nice big yellow line on here. Track and trade drops in there telling you that's the first notice date. And that's the day we want to be out of this market by that day. So we don't want to be trading the December corn contract. You always want to make sure that you're looking for the contract expiration dates and knowing those first notice dates and expiration dates and when you need to be out of this market and not trading. So we need to roll over into the next contract month. So with silver, in this case, when we look at the next contract month is January. So if we go to the January contract, which I have open up here, you look at it and you're like, oh, what's wrong with that market? It's very thinly traded, isn't it? You look down here at volume and you're like, oh, volume really thinly traded. Something's not quite right. So use your eye when you're looking at these markets and realize that we're not going to be trading the January contract. We actually go out to the March contract. If we go to the March contract, you'll notice the March contract actually has a lot more volume and the chart bars look a whole lot nicer and cleaner. And that's because we skip over that January contract. We go out to the March because in silver, we like to trade the quarterlies, all right? And so that's why we're out here to the March contract. So just remember, now that we're done with December, we can delete that one out of our book, and we're going to jump over to January. We're not going to trade it, and we're going to come in here to March. And the way you always know, just by looking at the volume will tell you which market you're supposed to be trading. You're always supposed to be trading the one with the highest volume, okay, and nearest to expiration, or one away from expiration. You can also go out one further out into the market if you want a little bit more time, but watch that volume. That's your key giveaway. It tells you which market you should be trading. So we're going to be trading silver here. Now, remember, just real quickly, I want to come in here and I want to do a couple of trend lines for you. Just off the simple bulls and bears tool here, we're going to come off of the ups and downs, okay, what I call the crosshatches. And we're just going to draw our trend lines in here, our crosshatches. And you can see that for every down, there's an up. We want to anticipate every down, there's an up. And so this is down, this is our counter trend, this is another down. Now, what we're looking for here is we're looking for a long position, all right? If we come back here and look at the previous trend, I just want to point this out quick. If we draw our trend lines in there, we're going to get one up, we're going to get a down, we're going to get an up, all right? And we're going to get a down. And for every one of these ups, we're going to get it down. So there's our up. And notice that that's the three drive pattern. It's just perfect. It came in. That's a nice Elliott wave. There's drive 1. Here's drive 2. And this is the final drive 3 for our Elliott wave pattern. Now, on the downside, we get the ABC pattern for the Elliott wave, right? So ABC in here. And if we draw this in here with our Elliott wave tool, we can just draw that in real quick. I'll just draw this manually. So we've got X1, 2. And we're going to come in here. We can just draw these where the breaks are. The bulls and bears tells us right where to put them. 3, 4, and then all the way up to 5, and then down to A. A is right here. B is this pullback here. Again, breaking the high point between the bulls and bears blue light system. B, and then down here, this is C. So what happens? Usually when we get to the C point, the market has a tendency to go sideways, and that's exactly what it's doing right now. It has a little drift sideways. As the bulls and bears are fighting at this point, they don't know whether they want to be bullish or bearish after a nice, perfect Elliott wave pattern like that, and they have to reset and kind of find their footing once again. So at this point, we have to decide, are we going to be bullish or bearish on this market? And the way we do that, of course, we're going to come back and we're going to start looking at some of our technical tools. I'm going to remove volume off of here because it's done its job, told us which market to be in, and we're going to turn on the seasonal nature of markets. Okay, now seasonally speaking, this thing coming in here has a little bit more downside potential, doesn't it? Has a little bit more downside potential coming all the way into December 25th. All the way into Christmas, we generally see this thing fall. So that's what we're going to anticipate. We're going to anticipate. It looks like it wants to break that blue light right there. We might get a little false breakout somewhere along here. But overall, we're going to anticipate this market following the seasonal trend just because it's been following it so far like a train on rails, okay? So this thing's coming down. We're looking for our turning point around Christmas Day, and that's where we're going to start looking to be very bullish on this market going into expiration. And so at this point, I just wanted to give you a heads up, show you how perfect this nice little Elliott wave pattern was coming out of silver and what we're anticipating at this point. I'm not real excited about getting a long position in here right now just because the seasonals are so strong to the downside all the way into Christmas. Although I did wanted to point out that in here we are anticipating this market might get a little rally and break that blue light. If that's the case, I'm looking for a little 1, 2, 3 pattern in here. I'm going to see A, B, and we'll look for this market to come in somewhere in here, maybe break that blue light, give us another A, B, C down, and we're going to get this next one going into expiration somewhere around Christmas time. We're going to be looking to be bullish on silver. All right, one more thing we can look at. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to turn on the historical averages. And we can see on the historical averages, I've got this set to just 1 and 3, and 1 and 5 actually. And 1 and 5, of course, one average is just last year's price. So the dark blue line in here, this is just last year's prices. This is what silver did over the last year. And you can see right in here at this time frame, it just kind of drifted and wandered sideways a little bit. It did have a little bit of a rally in there. It kind of gained in price coming through this time frame going into Christmas time. So we might not see a drop in price in silver, but we might not see a big rally either at this point. I'm kind of anticipating this ABC. We may break the blue lights, give us a little false impression that this market's going to start to rally and then probably fall again going into Christmas time. Once it falls into Christmas time, whether it's a deep fall and comes all the way down and breaks new lows, I don't know if that's going to happen, but probably more of a wander sideways. That's kind of what the seasonals are telling us a little bit here, as this market doesn't get any footing until about Christmas time. At that point, we're going to be more bullish on silver and start looking for some option opportunities into taking some long positions in silver. So as you can see right now, not too excited about getting long with everybody else. Lots of people are out there anticipating and saying that it's time to get long silver. I'm going to wait a little bit. I may be wrong, might be the opportunity to jump in here, but for now, all of my indicators and the seasonal nature of markets are telling us give it one more little drop in here, or at least wait for a little while for this market to go drift sideways a little bit more and then start to rally. If you wanted to draw a line in the sand and say if it breaks above this line right here, I'm going to take a long position. Conservatively, I would say, because again, the bigger rally hasn't traditionally started until around Christmas time in silver. And then at that point, that's where we start to see this big run going into expiration. So at that point, let's watch silver very closely for an opportunity to take a long position out here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that's what we're looking for on silver.